I have a new pattern for you today. It's called a kerchief, and this is for either for girls or women, whatever you decide. We have the pattern for both. Hey, welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to be working on this kerchief, and it's designed for either girls or women. You just have to follow the instructions as necessary. And what we have here is that we have dimensions, and they're in different colors, and you just have to follow those dimensions in order to make it for the size that you want. Now if you want it even bigger, you know, you can always use your own flexibility in order to keep that going to whatever size that you want. Now I was really intimidated by how this looks, and once I started I realized how simple it was, and I was kind of avoiding the pattern in the very beginning because I was scared of it. But today I'm going to decipher and show you a diagram. Firstly, I want to show you a secret in order to making it really quick and simple. What we have here in the green is the main part of the kerchief, and it's really easy. Now the peachy part here, that is just an add-on afterward. This is part of the edging, and then I did a little bit of my own creativity along this side in order to keep it in balance. That choice is up to you. So what we have here is that you're always going to notice is that we're going to get bigger and bigger. But here's the secret. It always has one flat side and the other side always gets bigger and bigger. And if you can remember that, it makes it very easy to remember. So I'm really excited about this pattern because it was so simple. The key idea is that we keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the way to the middle of it, and you will notice then once we get to the middle we just literally do a double treble across in each one, and then we start decreasing to go down the other side in order to get it smaller as you get to the other side of the kerchief. Really simple. But let me show you a diagram to help illustrate what I'm talking about. And this is a diagram that I've created that makes it easier to understand on how this pattern is working. I was kind of intimidated by this pattern, but it's actually really simple when you understand that the concept that only one side of the kerchief is growing. So around the neck it's all one side is flat and the other side bows out like a half moon, and then you get to the halfway point and then it comes back in. What you're looking at here are the symbols for double trebles. How do you do a double treble? It's wrap your hook 3 times before inserting into the hook, or inserting into the stitch. So without further ado, let me explain it a little further. To make it easier to understand, what happens is that one side of the kerchief, which is this side, is getting bigger and bigger while the other side remains flat. Now the trick is that you have to understand what side is which when you're working on it, because it makes it very easy to follow once you get it, and it's very obvious once you start working on it what side is getting bigger anyway, so that's not too hard to follow. So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna start off by chaining a 5, and then we're gonna do a double treble into the beginning here, and then basically this counts as 2 double trebles here in the rules of crochet. So this side then we're gonna be chaining up our 5, and this time this side we're going to be putting in 2 double trebles into the same stitch. So this immediately starts to increase it on this side of your project. So when we start on the project that is on the increasing side, which is this side, we're going to chain up 5, and then we insert a double crochet or double treble crochet right into the same stitch so that you have your increase, and then every stitch remaining is just 1 double treble going all the way across. So when you're starting on this side, which is your flat side, it's always chaining a 5, 1 double treble into each, except for the final you're going to put 2 double trebles. So what happens when you get all the way to the center point? The center point of your kerchief is exact middle, and there's only 1 double treble into each going all the way across. For the girls version it's only 24 of these stitches, and then for the women's it's 30. But what happens on the decrease? Let me tell you about that. So let's review how to decrease. Whenever you're decreasing and you're on the side, the decreasing is always on the same side. So if it's been belling out in this direction, it's gonna bell back in on the top end of this as the other side of the kerchief. So instead of chaining up 5 like we had been, when you're doing the decrease you're only gonna chain up 4 and then 1 double treble into the next one that you see there. This immediately pulls it in. So these 2 stitches here immediately just become 1, and then you 1 double treble into the remaining. When you're starting on the other side, which is the flat side, you're still going to do that chaining of 5 like you had been doing, but what happens is that you have to double treble up until the final. The trick is here is that when you're on the project, these two look like they're two different stitches, but they're not. You just have to be very conscientious of that. So then this stitch and this stitch become one as we do two double trebles together. And then what's gonna happen is that once you get to the final edge of your project, you're going to do what is called the sawtooth look, and I'll show you a diagram for that because that's really easy too. So this is not a camera trick, this is the same diagram, but what happens is that now the project is turned sideways. So it starts off with the narrow, goes all the way to the middle of your kerchief, and then gets narrow on the other side. We play and do the sawtooth on the side that is doing the half moon shape, so where it's increasing. So what happens on here is that we're going to start off right in the center point right here, and then we're going to do what is called the saw point, or the sawtooth. Okay, so we're going to chain up 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and we slip stitch to the second chain from the hook, and then we single crochet, half double, we double crochet, we treble, and we double treble all the way back down. And once you get back to this point here, then we just actually slip stitch to the actual top right there. Okay, so to begin again, so you would chain your 7, you would do the sawtooth just like you see there, and then when you're done that you just slip stitch it to the next one. So it really looks like when you're working on this project that the sawtooth is made at the identical time that you're doing all of this, but in actual fact it's not. It's being done separately afterward. So without further ado, let's begin. I'll show you how to get started. So let's begin. I'm going to start off with a slip knot and just insert my hook. Calls for a size 4mm size G crochet hook today, and I'm using Peyton's Glam Stripes as per the pattern. I'm going to start off and I'm gonna chain 5. So 1 2 3 4 and 5, and a double treble. We have to double treble right into the beginning chain. So the double treble we wrap and wrap and wrap, so we wrap 3 times, and then going into the starting chain, pull through, and now you'll have 5 loops on the hook. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2 and 2. Okay, and so that is row 1. That's how easy this thing is. Turn your work. Okay, so turn it so that the chain is on the other side, and this is when we're gonna start establishing what side is belling out and what side is staying flat. So as per the instructions, we're going to chain 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and we want to double treble into the next one, which is this chain thing over here, right? Chain space or chain stitch. So we wrap and wrap and wrap 3 times and going into that, and we pull through, and you will notice in the instructions that we have to do that twice. So we're gonna wrap and wrap and wrap again and go into the exact same stitch. So this now determines that this one side that I'm just finishing up is going to be the increasing side, while the other side over here is going to remain flat. So here's the rule. Whenever you turn your work and it's on the increasing side, which it is right now, you're always going to chain 5. 1 2 3 4 and 5, and you're going to double treble into the same stitch underneath to create that to increase one more time. And you're gonna keep doing that throughout your project. And then each one of the remainder, you just have to double treble 1 into each. Don't get confused on that one chain there that you think that it's not included. It is included. You just have to put it in the top of the chain, of the turning chain. So now we're on the side that where it's considered flat. Okay, so just like you see, it's belling out toward my thumb over here, and I'm gonna turn my work. And so when you're on the flat side, you're always going to chain 5, 2 3 4 and 5, and double treble into the next one, so not into the same one, into the next one, and that will remain this side to be flat. And you keep double trebling across except for the final one, because you're doing the increasing, is that you want to put 2 into the same one. And that's how you would grow this all the way to the middle of your kerchief, and there will be a total of 24 of these double trebles going across for girls and 30 for women. So without further ado, let's begin, and I'm gonna show you the middle part, and then I'll show you how to decrease. So we're at the middle point, and we want to start at the middle point. So the middle point is just simply just one double, or sorry, chaining 5, and we just one double treble into each one. So we don't do any increasing, no decreasing, 1 into each. no big deal. So we're no longer going to worry about doing anything further with that. So this is the only time that this line is going to appear, is right in the center of your kerchief. That would be directly in the middle of it. Okay, 1 inch each. So it'll be a lot wider than this. This is just an example. So now we're going to start making it smaller, and this trick is that we have to identify which side is flat, which is this side, and the other side is the one belling out. So here's what you need to do in order to keep it consistent. So let's turn our work. So when you're on the side that is flat, it's going to be the other side that's going to decrease. So whenever you're going in this direction, you're going to automatically chain 5, 3, 4, 5, and then what we want to do is that we want to double treble into each one going across except for the final 2. We want to do a together stitch. So we have to look for it, and you will be able to identify it really easily as well, is that the next 2, see how there's 2 empties here, those are gonna come together. So to do that, we wrap still 3 times going into the next one. Okay, but we do not finish it. We go all the way back to the top without finishing that stitch, and then we just wrap again 3 times and going into the final. And pull it through, and then we keep going, pulling through 2 all the way until there's 3, and then we pull through. So then basically these 2 just became 1. Okay, so we're gonna turn our work. So whenever you're starting on the row that has the decrease, so this time now the decrease is first, it's not on the other side, we're only gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was per my diagram, and then we just have to double treble into the next one. So the trick is that you need to identify the next one. So you automatically, you can see 2 there, but you have to remember you've already decreased, so these 2 just became 1, so you have to make sure that you're paying attention to that. So don't go into the same one by accident, and then you just double treble going all the way across. So I'm gonna show you again the other direction, because now the game plan is gonna change a bit, because it does look different once you get to the other side when you're starting to do the decrease like I'm showing you right now. Okay, so when you turn your work, this side is the flat side. You can see that it's flat, the other side is belling out. So this side is chaining a 5. Okay, and then double treble into each one across except for the final 2. So this time I've actually have done an error, and I've done this on purpose because I want to show you. So these 2 look like they're separate, but they're actually together. Okay, so what I have to do in this case here is that I have to back out, and so you'll have a lot wider obviously, but what's gonna happen is that you want to put 2 together on your final 2, just making sure you just don't finish it all the way. And so you can see that these 2 are together, so it's really easy to confuse that these 2 are still separate now, but remember that we knew that we were decreasing, so we know that this is only 1. So we just have to finish the other one, which is the decrease, like so, and then finish it all like that. Okay, so you just have to be able to identify what ones are coming together in order to make it successful. So next I'm gonna show you how to do the sawtooth stitching, which makes it really easy to follow as well. So here's a reminder on how to do the sawtooth. We're going to chain up our 7, and we're going to slip stitch in the second from the hook, and then we're gonna do a single, half double, double, treble, and double treble. So let's begin to do that. So you're gonna be right on the edge anyway, so you can just start, and you only work on the side that has the growing. So it's the side that looks like the half moon, so you don't worry about the flat side. You can do both sides if you wish. It's just you won't have enough yarn in order to make that happen if you're doing the yarn as per the instructions. So to begin, we're going to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So second from the hook, we want to be able to slip stitch, and then the next one we're going to do a single crochet, and then the next one we're going to do a half double crochet. So you just keep going into that same chain, and the next one is a double crochet. This really does not take a lot of time, and then we're going to do a treble. Okay, so that's wrapping of it twice only, and then the final is going to be wrapping it 3 times for a double treble right into the final chain that's available. And now this time we want to slip stitch it to the side. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure it comes over, and just right where the rows are joining each other is where you're going to go. Just insert in and slip stitch like so. So basically it looks like it's all part of the same line, but it's done separately. So let's review again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Second chain from the hook, you're going to slip stitch, and then you're going to just go into the next one for a single, then you're going to the next one for a half double, the next one is a double, the next one is a treble, so wrap twice, and then the next one is a double treble, so wrap 3 times into the final stitch like that, and then again just lay it out, pull it out, okay, and then just insert into the next one that's available to you and just do a slip stitch. And that would be how you would make this kerchief, and you'll have the nice sawtooth edging just like you see, and it's really quite neat and amazing at the same time. So there it is there. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarn Inspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. Stay tuned for more future ideas and patterns right here on YouTube. Until then, we'll see you.